Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? It's Theory Thursday, the Villain Report. It's where faith, family, and then football, in that order. Before we break down the lines, let's remember what keeps us grounded. Faith first, family always, and then we go to war in between the lines. Brought to you by Fanatics.com. You can use that QR code up in the corner. Save up to 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partners over at Fanatics. Just every click helps the page. We appreciate you. I'm your host, Russell Wayne. I am the UDFA of sports podcasting. No silver spoon, just a super fan with a mic. And today, we're going to dive into some theories. Theories about John Morton's offense. Is it starting to click? Theories about Kelvin Sheppard's defense. And even further than that, how good is Jack Campbell? If you're watching on YouTube at 313 Villain Squad, and we're streaming across Facebook, we're streaming across TikTok, Instagram, X, wherever you scroll, the Villain rolls. That's right. Drop your theories into the comments below. Mid-season theories. As we get into this right here. Welcome. Let's get this thing all set up right here as I go say hello to all of my people. Let me get this one in there. There we go. I got the right one. It's Theory Thursday right here. It's the bye week. How y'all feeling out there? Let's say hello to my friends.
Say hello to my little friend.
That's right. What I'd like to have right now is for all you fat, out of shape Minnesota Viking piss ants, keep the noise down while the simply ravishing one takes his robe off and shows the ladies what a real sexy man looks like. Hit the music. Yeah. What's up, Rick?
You like that?
Welcome to the program. Davey in the house.
You just made the list.
Orlando is in the house.
Like that?
That's right, Broski Bear. His name is Russell
like
Wayne.
that?
He comes to bring the pain. You think he might be playing, but it ain't no freaking game. That's right. I got a special treat for you guys here in a second. Speaking on that, what's up, Tyler?
Like
Tyler's
that?
in the house. Let me see your war face. Rick says he's going to the doctors later today to see if they finally Give this baby some real food. He's been on a feeding tube for the last 5 months. Well, we can pray for that. And we can pray for that. And it gives me an opportunity to pray with everybody on here. You know, and the thing is like, I like to preface this because I think that church is supposed to be in church. You know, I think that's the best place to start preaching the deep gospel. But being positive out wherever you're at, I've always thought was a good thing too. And that's what we're going to do here with that. Because even if you don't believe in the power of prayer, some of us do. And I think it can be simply broken down like thoughts. You do not have to think the thoughts that you think no matter what. And when you choose to think something positive, like for Rick, when you're thinking about Rick having a successful day, finally getting his baby some real food, feeding tube for the last 6 months, when you think of the thought of a baby eating without a tube, and you think that thought, and you don't have to think that thought, that has power. I believe that has power and that has meaning. When enough people do that, God honors that. God honors your thoughts whether you believe in God or not. That's what I believe. It isn't my job to turn anybody into a Christian. It's my job to be the best one that I can be, so you can see that as an example. So when we think our good thoughts about Rick, just remember that does have power. And if you are a Christian, you add the thoughts in Jesus' name at the end. We have faith in that power. So there you go for you, Rick. In Jesus' name, amen. That it works out. That's right. That's right. I do have a special treat for you guys today. This won't be debuting on the page until a little bit later today, but you guys get to see it first, because you guys are the ones that come on here every day and listen to me talk. And I appreciate you guys for that. So you guys get the brand new Slick Rick promo. So here you go. I have two of them on there. Okay, this one.
Let me tell you something, brother. Everybody want to crown the Packers like they're the kings of the North. But baby Ric Flair here to remind you, there's only one champion in this division. The Lions are sitting pretty at 5-2, and Green Bay, you're 4-1-1, talking about being week 7 champs like that means something. The last time Baby Nature Boy checked, 5 is 1 more than 4. And that means the Lions do more winning. You're out here getting beat by the Browns. You barely crawled past the Bengals and Arizona. You may have got a fluke victory week 1, but that doesn't change the fact that we get to go one more time on Thanksgiving. Because to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And right now, the Detroit Lions are the man. Woo!
There you go. There you go. Baby Ric Flair has spoken. The prophecy is in there. The week 7 champs ain't nothing but a bunch of week 7 chomps. You squeaking by Arizona. I like it. I like it a lot.
Like that.
Shout out to baby Ric Flair. He tells you how it is. Woo! Rick C. Oh, yeah. The UDFA. Faith, family, then football. The UDFA, the undrafted free agent, is in the house. That's right. No silver spoons for this guy. The unwanted. Oh, on Theory Thursday, I got some good stuff here. Been looking up some things, and I wanted to put a shout out. My theory, even from the beginning of the season, was that Jack Campbell was going to be a first-team All-Pro. And this dude, you know, I'm going to use PFF, and I know how much you guys love that. Let's put this in there. So I'm looking through here. We'll go by position in linebacker, and it's just like, it's so nice to see these things work out in a good way. Get in there. Where's that? There you go. So this is in the National Football League right here. All 32 teams right there. And here's Jack Campbell. It's the third best. Look at those BFF scores all the way across. He's the most consistent linebacker in the NFL when you look at it. I mean, look at those. Like, and I understand these guys are better in the overall, right? But look at the other things. Like Jack, when you go across run defense, you know, he's better. He's a better tackler than these two guys. He's right there with the pass rush with Devin Lloyd, but he's a much better tackler in Devin Lloyd. He's a much better run defender than Devin Lloyd. And Jack Campbell isn't as good in coverage as these other two guys, but he's still not bad in coverage. That's a good coverage score. So, my theory is that you can make an argument for sure that Jack Campbell is the best linebacker in the NFL. I mean, according to how well-rounded that is. And, you know, they told us at the beginning of the season, you know, how much Jack Campbell had came out and was unrecognizably better. And Jack Campbell's been like this since day one. Straight up Jack Campbell. Like, even from, he's always been a good tackler. He's always been a good tackler. And you say that's the only weakness. Our linebackers don't have a weakness. I'm showing you the best ones in there. They don't have a weakness in coverage. Linebackers don't normally cover. They don't normally cover well at all. And there you go. You know, even Jack Campbell in coverage. He's the 10th best linebacker in the NFL in coverage. Alex Anzalone is the 11th best linebacker in coverage. Let's see if I can find Barnes on here. Derek Barnes. He's the 32nd best linebacker in the NFL. And now, mind you, every team has 3 of them. Or at least 2. And there's 32 teams. So the way I look at it is if you got 3 linebackers that are top 3 in the league, or your top 3 linebackers are all in the top 32 linebackers in the league, then your linebackers are excellent at coverage. Now, keep in mind here that linebackers, you really just schematically, you don't want linebackers in coverage. So, I mean, that could skew your thought of the linebackers is the fact that, like, on a general note, you don't want your linebackers out there. I mean, you want a linebacker that's, good enough to cover running backs out of the backfield and some tight ends. Most of the time, linebackers get a bad rap because, they'll roll some things pre-snap motion, and then you end up getting a linebacker that's on a wide receiver, and that's advantage wide receiver. I don't care what linebacker you have out there. Linebackers are not covering wide receivers. And that's the whole game. That's the game that they play when they're out there between the coordinators. They're trying to get favorable matchups. That's why Amon-Ra so deadly, because you can move him all over the line of scrimmage, and you can get him lined up against people. And I mean, the minute that you get him on a linebacker, I mean, defensive backs can't even cover him. But the minute they see a linebacker or Sam Laporta on a linebacker, it's over. So, Broski Bear has not been watching Lions football. You can tell he hasn't been watching Lions football. Jack Campbell needs to start making. What do you mean start making plays? I mean, what are you even talking about? I'm out there watching him force fumbles. He's tackling everything that's out there. Let's look at some of these numbers in here. Tackles, assists, hit, hurry. Jack Campbell's got sacks. He's got forced fumbles. What are you talking about, broski? You must not watch any of the games. Dude's making plays every game. Tackles for loss. See if I can find that in here. Why is this being such a butthole to me? Guess we'll do it 25 so I can not have as many. So I can move this over here. There we go. Let's see if I can find it on there. Tackles for loss. Tackles. Where are they at? Did I not go over far enough? Yards after catch. Target, forced fumbles. There you go. Jack Campbell leads the leagues in forced fumbles. Yeah, what's that? He doesn't make any plays. He doesn't make any plays. I can't find tackle for loss. Am I long yards after catch, coverage, snap counts? I thought that they had that in there. Am I just dumb? Am I missing that? I'm looking for the tackles for loss because I know that he's up there in tackles for loss too. But forced fumbles, there you go. Here's Jack. Jack can't. What do you mean? It's so funny. The trolling is so funny. Jack Campbell, 3rd in overall defense, number 1 in rush defense. Number 9 in tackling. Number 7 in pass rushing. Number 10 in coverage. You can make an argument that Jack Campbell's the best linebacker in the NFL. And on top of that, you can just watch the game. Sometimes trolls just say stuff that his takes aren't always good. Yep. He has 2 forced fumbles and 5 tackles for loss. And both of those put him in the top 10. And there's no linebacker You know, he's the top linebacker and forced fumbles. He makes plays. That's the point. And on top of that, you have another linebacker. I swear it's like it must be because they train with each other. But Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone are like the same guy. I think Jack Campbell's a little bit better of a tackler, you know, run defender. Alex Anzalone normally is better in coverage, but Jack Campbell, so far, he's been better in coverage. But he's really just learning how to find himself within this defense. You know, with Kelvin Sheppard, him putting this defense together, they're starting to find their stride. And another gem, Kelvin Sheppard. I can't say enough. My theory at the beginning of the season was that we're going to be here talking about how Kelvin Sheppard is a better defensive coordinator than Aaron Glenn. And here we are, going into the eight-week bye, and here we are talking about how Kelvin Sheppard is a better defense than Aaron Glenn's. And I'm glad that you got some confidence in here, Jason MC. I don't think that you're going to win this game. I have a hard time believing that Carson Wentz is going to beat this defense. You haven't even seen the best version of this defense yet. This defense is going to keep on getting better with Aleem McNeil. And my theory of Kelvin Sheppard being better, and I don't think that this is Aaron Glenn's fault. It's not Aaron Glenn's fault. The talent has been in the incubator for 3 years underneath Glenn. And he's been building this defense to where you can see the defensive blossoming of talent starting to bubble over a little bit. And you could see it at the end of last season. Just boiling over a little bit with talent. Now, Aaron Glenn moves on from the job right as this talent is bubbling over. And then in walks Kelvin Sheppard, who's been here the whole time. He has a relationship with all of these players. And he's putting his defense in there. But here's the thing, is you're going into this season, the talent pool has spilled over now. So Kelvin Sheppard is dealing with a much more talented team. Much more talented. And even the talent that they coached that was the same, the Hutchinsons, the Aleems, the Amon-Ra, not Amon-Ra, but all of our defensive players that have been here since 2021. All of those guys are better. They're better because they were young. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. All of those guys they're still progressing up. So you get better versions of all of those players along with a much more talented, not as injured roster. Broski, do I have to keep on schooling you? You see, you don't understand. You see, when I say that you can make an argument that Jack Campbell's the best linebacker in the NFL, he immediately gets into his feelings. He immediately gets into his emotions and brings up Tremaine Edmonds. Like I said, Jack Campbell's the best linebacker in the NFL. Nobody's even close, and he's the greatest. Nobody's in there. Now, you can bring up Tremaine Edmonds, 3 interceptions, and a ton of pass defense. You can make an argument that Tremaine Edmonds is the best linebacker in the NFL. You can make that argument. But as far as, let's see where Tremaine Edmonds is on the PFF, just to see where we got him in there. Edmonds, where you at, brother? Nowhere in coverage. Let me see. Chicago, I don't see you in here. Let's try 50. Are you in the top 50? Tremaine Edmonds is 69 overall. In run defense, what 69 overall. In run defense, he is, man, I lost it. There we go. 80 overall. He's a good run defender. Tremaine Edmonds has a 72 in tackling. That's good too. 60 in pass rushing. And a 55 in coverage. He's not very good in coverage, broski. It's like, according to PFF. But I'm sure that since PFF doesn't match up with what you're saying, I'm sure that PFF is wrong because it doesn't fit your narrative. But Jack Campbell's a better linebacker than Tremaine Edmonds this year. So I'm looking at it. Yeah, I figured that Broski would come in here because it doesn't match his theory of Jack Campbell being a better linebacker than Tremaine Edmonds, which obviously it is that. It is that. Because PFF isn't the end-all, be-all, but it does tell a story. It does tell a story. And sometimes it matches what it is. And I have watched Chicago play this year. PFF doesn't match with your logic. And you do have to watch the games. You have to watch Jack Campbell play. You have to watch the impact that he makes. And you can ask any football mind. I am not off base here. This is not Homersville. This is straight up fact that Jack Campbell's been progressively getting better, and now he's in the conversation as one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And whether Trolsky watches the games or not, which he obviously doesn't because Jack Campbell affects the play, you can't make this stuff up, and then he actually posts the stats that prove me right in there. But the Chicago Bears have been playing well. They have actually snuck into the top 10 as far as some of the power rankings go because they keep on winning football games. It's amazing how sometimes the best players in the NFL are synonymous with winning.
You just made the list!
You can always tell when Trim Reaper makes it into the house. No, I'm just giving you a hard time, but it's Theory Thursday. What are your wild theories? My wild theories is that Jack Campbell's the best linebacker in the NFL. And Broski's theory is that Tremaine Edmonds is the best linebacker in the NFL. Which he isn't even a top 10 linebacker. And that's not just my list. That's not just my list, man. Anybody can take the best linebacker on their team and call him the best linebacker. That's homerism. But the other theory that I had was that Kelvin Sheppard is a better defensive coordinator than Aaron Glenn, but it isn't as much as what people are thinking that it is, because it looks like a night and day difference on this defense. It really does. So a lot of Lions fans would probably call that out and say, well, look at what Aaron Glenn's was doing with the same talent, and the defense wasn't as good. But Kelvin Sheppard got passed on some talent. All of the big talent that's on the team that was here, Broski's all on his emotions again. He's in there bragging about how Tremaine Edmunds is the best linebacker in the NFL, and now he's telling me that he never said that. And I can look right in here. Right here. I'm talking about Jack Campbell being the best linebacker in the NFL. And your response is Tremaine Edmunds has a ton of passes defended this season. Edmunds is better than Campbell. I said bigger plays. So if I'm arguing, I want you to stay with me, broski, because I know you're all in your emotions right now because you want to type something really, really fast. But when I'm arguing, when the host of the show, when the show is doing a question or a theory about Jack Campbell being the best linebacker in the NFL, and your comeback is Tremaine Edmunds is better than Campbell, you are then saying on my show, because I'm doing the best linebacker in the NFL show topic, and you come back with Tremaine Edmunds is better, you are saying that Tremaine Edmunds is the best in the NFL, because we're doing my topic, not yours. We're not doing your topic. So stay with me. And if you're going to type stuff in there and you're going to call out the villain, at least stay on the topic of where the villain is at. So I am now, broski, you have now lost all talking privileges. I'm not going to talk about you anymore because right now I can see that you're just trying to spin me around to make whatever it is that you're trying to do, trying to ruin the show again and make it all about broski. But can we stay on topic now? Because I've already moved on. Jack Campbell's a better linebacker than Tremaine Edmunds. I can make an argument that Jack Campbell is the best linebacker in the NFL. That is my theory. I've provided some data, and you got crushed again, broski. Now, I'm moving on to the topic of Aaron Glenn and Kelvin Sheppard. And I do try to show both sides. That's why I call it the villain's advocate sometimes. I try to take a theory that's out there in the news and where most people feel one way and try to show you another way. Try to show you a different side. And I do believe that Kelvin Sheppard is a better defensive coordinator. I think that he's showing that he can do some different things with the same guys. But I don't think it's as big of a gap. I know that Aaron Glenn never, had that top 5 type of feeling for any of his defenses. But I don't think that that's all his fault. I think when Brad Holmes got here, we definitely went offense heavy with drafts and bringing in the top end talent. So Aaron Glenn had to work with a lot of undrafted free agents, a lot of these guys. But now the talent level has kind of leveled off a little bit. And I think there's just as much talent on defense as there is on offense now. And Kelvin Sheppard is doing a good job with that defense. And like I said, it's only going to get better after the bye as we start getting some of these starters that are back. I mean, it kind of blows my mind with how many starters are coming back or just impact type of players. Josh Pascal isn't a starter, but he's an impact type of player. He's somebody that can help out on that defensive line, play inside and outside. He's coming back. I mean, you're going to have, a better version of Aleem McNeil week to week. I mean, I thought he played fantastic in that first game. But as he gets himself worked into football shape, I mean, I only expect that to get better. Malcolm Rodriguez is coming back. You're going to have a healthier version of Kirby Joseph. Brian Branch is coming back, from a suspension. But still, he was dealing with some injury. That extra week probably helped him. Terrion Arnold's coming back. And the backup secondary guys played so well that I wouldn't guarantee that Terrion Arnold is going to be the starter when he comes back. And even if he is, they're going to play some of these other guys. When I'm looking at, when I look at the PFF for the last game, Nick Whiteside was the second best player on the defense. So there's not a guarantee that Terrion Arnold would go out there. Like if it's between, you got two guys between, DJ Reed, Amik Robertson, and Terrion Arnold. I mean, don't you think that Amik Robertson has won that cornerback job over Terrion Arnold? There's a theory. Has he won that over Terrion Arnold? Gosh, broski, you are all in your emotions, buddy. Dude, I haven't talked about the linebackers for like 10 minutes, bro. You guys are all still arguing on that. I can't even make an argument that Jack Campbell's the best. I even gave you a pass and said that you can make an argument that Edmonds is the best. Three interceptions. That's pretty impressive. But I think I'm doing pretty good topics right here, and I thought that I'd successfully moved on here. We got Corey Patterson in here. Let's talk about Johnny Morton then. Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton needs to start going downfield more. Too much dink and dunk plays. See, I don't agree with that. I mean, you can go downfield more. I mean, if you look at the last play or the last game, that's Tampa Bay, man. Tampa Bay, their defense doesn't really allow you to do that. And they took a couple deep shots and missed. So we gotta be careful not to get caught up in the moment, Corey. And being caught up in the moment is just looking at that last game and saying that's what the offense is. And they had some successful plays, and they were able to score 24 points, and they left some points on the board, man. Goff threw a little bit of air underneath that Tesla ball. We could be talking a little bit different. You know, they took their deep shots. They just missed them. And dink and dunk, to me, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta, and Gibbs. Those are our dink and dunk guys. And if anything, I'd say more dink and dunk. Because anytime I can get the ball into the hands of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, or Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield, the better. I mean, we like dink and dunk when the dink and dunk is a screen pass that goes for 50 yards. And when you got playmakers like us, see what dink and dunk is, Corey, is it's high percentage. Very high percentage. You go downfield and you start throwing those balls. For one, you're taking a chance that the defense can make a play on the ball. And they're just not as high percentage. You don't want to do them all the time, especially if you missed a couple of them. The dink and dunk, gosh, I want the ball in the hands of Jahmyr Gibbs as many times as possible. Go. Put it in there. So, but I appreciate where you're coming from with that. And when you look at the last game, you know, the way that Tampa plays defense, they make it hard to go downfield on you. They just do. I was talking about that in my game preview. And the game preview is, it's like that running an offense against Tampa Bay is like running your offense through quicksand. You know, you're just sludging along. You got to kind of take what they give you. They play good. It's a hard team to score on. I mean, no teams really have a big success against Tampa Bay. So, I don't know. I'm not that worried about the offense. Oh, man. Broski, gosh, man, chill out, dude. We're just having some fun talking some football, dude. On point topics. Thank you, Jason, for appreciating the topic and not liking my flow. You guys like my flow. On third down at Broski, Morton. The Broski with the Moski. Enjoy it. There you go. Okay. Sometimes I want to see if you guys actually want to get involved in this conversation, but I also don't mind that you guys are talking trash on each other. So if you guys are just having, you know, a Trotsky roast or whatever you guys are doing in there, that's fine. That's fine. But Mark, I thank you. I appreciate that. But I do want to make sure that I keep you guys involved and it isn't just me running my mouth up here. You know, I do want to do stuff that you guys also enjoy. But what was I talking about before? I talked about Aaron Glenn. Oh, no, that was it. Amik Robertson. I knew I was on something. Amik Robertson versus Terrion Arnold. we got some very, very good cornerback play out of some guys that no one's ever heard of. And that's something to get excited about. Because usually when you have a cornerback that's coming in relief, you're hoping that guy just doesn't embarrass you. But we had a couple of cornerbacks that not only did they play well, they excelled. Nick Whiteside was very good. You watch the game, and the PFF scores did back this up. But you could watch him. The 3 pass deflections, and when those pass deflections were, Nick Whiteside was a plus player. It wasn't like he came in there. I mean, he played 40 snaps in the game. So you got a bigger sample size from that. And another good player was Lawrence Strickland at free safety. And, Arthur Malat. I mean, you're talking about guys that didn't just play well enough to fill in. They played well enough that's like you could count on these guys. And Amik Robertson, when they put him on the outside, I'm sorry, Amik Robertson is a better outside corner than he is a slot corner. And he's good at slot. He's a good slot corner. But when he's on the outside, he's a better player. Amik Robertson is a better version of himself when he's guarding the outside cornerbacks. So the theory or the question would be, is Terrion Arnold just going to come back in Minnesota and be the starting cornerback? I mean, and that's saying that we do get DJ Reed back, because there's a chance that we get all of these guys back after the bye with the DJ Reed. But when Amik Robertson's in there, is it DJ Reed and Amik, or is it DJ Reed and Terrion? The villain's opinion is that Amik Robertson just took Terrion Arnold's job. I think Amik took Terrion Arnold's job. Now, I don't think that any of those cornerbacks would jump 2 spots. You could make an argument that Whiteside would have jumped Terrion Arnold too. And then you got great depth after that. That's got to make you feel good. With the secondary. Last year it was all on the pass rushing, and you just had to find guys. But Brad Holmes, I think, did a better job at finding cornerbacks in a pinch. These back-end cornerbacks that are coming in for our starters did a better job than last year's pass rushers. Like, we had to manufacture a pass rush in the middle of the season, and our defense wasn't very good when we hit injuries last year. We won 15 games because for the most part, we were outscoring people. Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
Say hello to my little friend.
See, I like this argument right here because, John, you and I might be in agreement here. I think Amik Robertson has moved up the depth chart. What do you think of that theory? Let me know in the comments. I want to know that. Y for yes, N for no. Did Amik Robertson do enough to put Terrion Arnold, even if it's just temporary, but a temporary step back and come in reserve? Did he take that spot? And this is true, too. It might be Terrion Arnold and Robertson. if Arnold is back versus the Viking on the outsides. But there is a possibility that DJ Reed is coming back too. A 4 to 6 week injury. And right now, during the bye week, we are in week 4 that he's been injured. And they said his hamstring injury was 4 to 6 weeks. So this would put it right in the middle. You know, he's going to be on week 5. At the end of week 5 is when this game is. So they could give him another week's worth of rest, or just depending how the injury was. But you could be right. It could be Terrion and Robertson. And then you got good depth guys there. Mark says teams target Arnold a lot. They think that he's the weakest link on our secondary. And that's usually what they do, man. You know, in Arnold's defense, when Arnold is out there, they ask a lot more of him than they did any of these other cornerbacks. But these other cornerbacks, for some reason, are able to get it done without getting a penalty called. It is. What's up? Mrs. Jones is in the house. Mrs. Jones and me.
You just made the list!
Did Paul tell you that you were going to come on here and you were going to get a Chris Jericho, the Chris Jericho treatment? Tyler says, and let Amik handle the Justin Jefferson. Yeah, that's Justin Jefferson remembers that. The bad guy and I have been talking about these injury things here, and I took one of the things that you said during the villain cast. You know, watching Kirby Joseph fall down, and you were even talking about it during that broadcast. It's like, you got to let these injuries settle down. And I think they heard you because they sat Kirby Joseph down one extra week. And that's why we're talking about this. I mean, how cool is that, bad guy? How cool is that? Is you tell them to do something and then they listen to you, and look what we found because of that. Look what the Lions found because they sat down Kirby Joseph, and then you got a chance to see Nick Whiteside, Arthur Mallett. You got to see some backup secondary guys, Lawrence Strickland, and they balled out. This is not true. Terrion Arnold can play on the inside, and that actually might be the call. That might be a call that they could do. They could put TA on the inside. They did that at Alabama. They haven't done it any here because, I mean, he's been strictly outside here. But versatile. They can all play versatility there. But I don't know, man. I just think that you got good depth, and you just got to go with the guys that are gelling the best, because I think all of these guys are close. I think what we found out is you got Terrion Arnold and DJ Reed. This is what we thought. It's like Terrion, DJ Reed, and then Amik's down a little bit, and then the rest of the cornerbacks are way down here. Right? But what we found out is the the lower level cornerbacks, you got 4 other cornerbacks that are right there that are good enough to play. You can count on them, and you're 5-6 deep at cornerback in all the versions of your secondary. And this is a good problem to have. Like, really, this is awesome. I mean, if your problem is you got to have your second-year cornerback sit behind a veteran that's playing really good, I mean, you don't think that sitting Terrion Arnold down on the side on a couple extra plays per game and let him watch how Terrion Arnold or watch him how Amik Robertson is playing, have him out there? Like, there's something about Amik Robertson. Like, he's got a knack for punching that ball out. Dude's like a little pit bull. You know, a little 5'3" boxer that comes to the side and to the body. Yep. Corey Patterson says that Terrion has potential. I don't know who they were playing before he got hurt, but he was shutting down the guy no problem, and he's handsy. And that's Terrion's problem. It's like his coverage skills are really good, but they've been really hard on him, you know, with calling the pass interferences. And some of them are good, legit calls. Some of them are ticky-tacky, but that's what happens when you get a reputation. If you get a reputation putting your hands on it, they're going to be watching you on every play, and that's where he's at right now. Amik Robertson uses different technique, and they're not watching him. He's not known as a guy that's going to grab you in pass interference. So that might be another thing, too. And all of those guys play. It's not like Amik would take Terrion Arnold's job and Terrion Arnold wouldn't see the field anymore. It would just mean that you take Amik Robertson and, you know, you would uptick his snap count. And that could look, you know, different. But I love Amik Robertson, man. He's my dog of the week. Little scrappy dude out there. He's another dude that, you know, on those screen passes, when he's out on the perimeter, he just sneaks by everybody. A tackle for loss. Forced fumbles. I love it, man. I love that defense. So, but that's my theory. I think Amik Robertson, you know, by the time DJ Reed comes back, I think that you're going to see Amik Robertson on the outside more than Terrion Arnold. And then Terrion at that point is going to be a very, very good depth piece, you know? I mean, it's nice that you can count on 3 cornerbacks. That's a good position to be in. You got some ascending players that are really, really good. We've highlighted a couple of them today on today's show. Jack Campbell, you can make an argument that he's the best linebacker in the NFL. He's played well enough. Just go watch him. You can look at tape. You can look at PFF scores. You can look at stats. Everything backs it up. Your eyes. He's making big plays. He's affecting the game. And then Amik Robertson. You know, here's a guy they got on a cheap 2-year deal last year. And he's balling out. He might be the best cornerback that we have on the team. You could make an argument that he was better than DJ Reed too, just the way that he's been playing. So there are 2 major players majorly stepping up. Ali McNeil coming back. What a huge impact that made. Pressure from the middle is different. Pressure from the middle is different, and Ali McNeil just brings a different tone to his pressure. When you got somebody pressuring from the middle and somebody that's getting pressure from the outside, it's like the worst kind of pressure that you can get. There's nowhere to escape. So, feeling good on a Thursday. And this is the Lion Villain Report. I love it, man. I love that you guys come in here talking some football. Even with the Trollski, with the Moski coming in here. It's still faith, family, than football. We don't let it get to us too bad. That's why it's fun. That's why it's fun. We're brought to you by Fanatics.com. That's right. You can scan that QR code, save up the 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partners over at Fanatics. The Villain Squad don't do any of those knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. Connect with, oh yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage says, yeah, you're going to connect with the villain, yeah, the UDFA of sports podcasting, yeah. Connect with him on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you scroll, the villain rules, yeah, dig it. Oh, thanks for being part of the show today. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen. Rick, I'm praying for you. Everybody put your good thoughts on to Rick. Yes, do that. And this is the Lion Villain Report. Russell Wayne signing off.
Let me tell you something, brother. Everybody want to crown the Packers like they're the kings of the North. But baby Ric Flair here to remind you, there's only one champion in this division. The Lions are sitting pretty at 5-2, and Green Bay, you're 4-1-1, talking about being week 7 champs like that means something. The last time Baby Nature Boy checked, 5 is 1 more than 4. And that means the Lions do more winning. You're out here getting beat by the Browns. You barely crawled past the Bengals and Arizona. You may have got a fluke victory week 1, but that doesn't change the fact that we get to go one more time on Thanksgiving. Because to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And right now, the Detroit Lions are the man.